All right, so I'm Ryan Brown. I'm here with the Cine Madhouse at GalaxyCon Richmond 2024, and I'm here with Josh Dela Cruz, of the host of Blue's Clues and You on Nickelodeon, Nick Jr. now. And I wanted to ask you, what was the process like when you were getting cast in the role and then coming on the show?
It took a long time and then no time at all, and I'll explain. So I got the audition for the show. I was in Aladdin on Broadway at the time. I got the audition, went in for my audition, I think a couple days later, and then didn't hear for a month. And I just assumed, like another one bites the dust, whatever. Then a month later, my agent sends me an email saying, hey, I guess this is still happening, and you have a callback. I'm like, oh, all right, cool, whatever. I really didn't have any aspirations to be in children's television. I just said, why not? Went in for my audition, and got another callback, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And every time I got called back, later that week, I had a screen test, which essentially you get to be in like a pseudo costume. You're in lights, you're in front of the camera, you're getting direction. After I left that experience, I thought, oh, that was a lot of fun. And then I got put on hold again for, I think, a month and a half before my last and final screen test. And but for the week of my final screen test, I saw the Mr. Rogers documentary in the theaters, which Mr. Rogers was my Steve growing up. And after I saw that movie, I said, oh, dang, I really want this job. And I was so afraid to say it out loud. So I had my final callback, and a week later I found out that I got the show. So it was like, it took a long time and then no time at all. And 5 years has flown by so fast.
I was about to say, because it started in 2019. Steve Burns came back to be on the show, the original host of the show. But then Donovan Patton as well is also back for the show. He was Joe, he took over. I gotta ask you, can we settle the debate? Were you a Steve or a Joe kid?
I was both. And here so my younger sister, she watched Steve and I watched the show with her. And then my cousin, she watched Joe, and I watched the show with her. So both. But for the record, I'm neither, and I'll tell that to their faces. I'm a Mr. Rogers.
So we're not going to settle the Steve or Joe debate today with Josh. Okay, so what was it like getting, that Blue's Clues was a titan among kids programming in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then now it's coming back, a 13-year hiatus, and it came back on its revival. When they said that you were going to be working not only with Blue, but with Steve and Joe, what was that like, getting to know that you had watched them before, but now you're going to work alongside them, they're going to write, direct, and you get to do that with them?
It's weird, because, you're afraid that they're not going to be the same kind of warmness. Of course, they're actors, so they're not going to be the same people, but you're afraid that they're not going to be as warm or as genuine as they are in person, or as accessible in person. And that was proven wrong. They're like family, and as long as they're there, I'll be there. I love them to death.
All right, and you get to meet so many generations now, somehow, of Blue's Clues fans. We have the adults who grew up watching Steve and Joe, who now have their kids who watch Josh, and you get to meet the parents who are also like, wow, this is the exact same show that I remember it as. What is that like, where you get to meet so many different, a wide range of age group fans?
It just fills me with so much joy, and oftentimes I find myself in tears and trying not to be a mess, like meeting these families who are just so full of joy and love, and it's so beautiful to me. So, it's my favorite part about the job, for sure.
All right, and what's your best piece of life advice for anyone who's watching, or in 15 years when the people watching you now find this video?
When you use your mind, take a step at a time, you can do anything that you want to do.
Thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Take care.